Nah, that's it. Yo. Yeah, I know I was missing for a day, but I didn't want to miss a whole week. So I'm here. I'm tired. The stream's gonna be a little different today. Um, Let me get my yo Pete. Yo, what up? I don't know. This one's gonna be a little different. I actually want to get some work done today, and what I'm thinking is I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna explain maybe the first bit, what I've done. What up, cows? Where are these people coming from, dude? I'm surprised. Ah, or is it the boys on Discord? Um, but after I explain some shit, I'm just gonna chill. Probably gonna watch some videos. Honestly, I'm tired of listening to video game music. I can't listen to DMCA music, and it's weird me jamming out to like the weekend, and then you guys can't hear it. What up, underwear? Kip wants to know. It was I can actually like this. Bang. There. Bonsa Mima Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Good song, good song. Let's keep playing that actually. So I might be a React Andy today. When I don't feel like talking is basically the point. I'm tired. I don't feel like talking unless it's answering chat. What is this new PogChamp, dude? I don't know if I like that. I don't think I got DMCA'd. Did I get DMCA'd on music yet? On video game music? I might have. Let me see. I want to check my other video because I think I did get DMCA'd on one song. But yeah, I don't want to get DMCA'd anymore. Even like copyright warnings, it's like I just don't want to. I don't care. So no, I got copyright claim. I did. For what? For Faithless. Well, I'm not gonna play that again. Apparently, it's a. Let me turn off desktop audio. Let me play this for myself. Dude, you can barely hear that. How did they catch that? It's drums. That is such a bullshit fucking. I'll show you. Look at this. Anyway, I'm probably just gonna watch some videos. This is actually gonna be more of like my actual. How I actually work on stuff, which is in silence, listening to dumb shit. So, I don't know how long this stream is gonna be. It honestly might be longer because I'm actually maybe gonna be in the vibe of like working, but we'll see. Dom, are you depressed? Why don't you feel like talking? Well, to that I'll answer, who isn't depressed, Pete? Not only is it the winter season when you can't really go out and have fun, it's also lockdown here in Ontario, so I can't go out. And then I got Volise bullying me through my DMs telling me to get a job. Oh, motherfucker, I'm working on a project right now. I don't feel like looking for a job. But no, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to stream games because I'd have nothing to say. And I wanted to stream this just to stream the process. But that doesn't mean I have something to say every second, right? And I feel like I gotta. Do that. And then when I had Copper on last time, we talked a lot, but we barely got anything really done. You know? I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it was meant for that stream. It was more just talking about like the art and aesthetics and stuff, but I feel like I could have been doing more instead of just talking. Like there's a bit of a got your blinders on, you're really focused, you know. Anyway, let's get that off the screen. This is kind of just what I've been working on since, when was the last time? I skipped Tuesday. Today is the 14th, so since the 10th. And I'll go over this because that's, as you can see in my notes here, that's basically what I've been doing all week. Is this progress doc. Just, I mean, the design doc and the progress doc. And then I have drawn some stuff, which was off stream. And it's weird because I feel like I should be drawing on stream, but then like I'm not good at drawing, or it takes me a while to like get what I want down. And that shit would be like all day. And then I get like moments of inspiration. I can't be streaming 24 hours just to like catch the moment I get inspired to draw something or write something down. Like dude, I write shit down like 5 a.m. like before I get to sleep. Or I can't sleep. I'm just laying in my bed for an hour and fucking I get an idea, you know? So again, I don't know how much I'm gonna get done today, but I'll try to get something done. At least. Anyway. So let's go over what I wrote down since like last week. I got some screenshots of the last couple streams, or at least the paper prototype one. Okay, that was the first one. Then 7th was the paper prototype, so I wrote that down. I showed the layout, and then when you're doing a test, it's important to really lay out all the variables of the test, because you never know what's going to change, right? Like something like 5 spaces between each point, that already changed. Now we have 5 spaces to the center, and then 7 spaces on the sides, right? So you really want to like hammer that home so that you know exactly what you were dealing with before, and if there's like something you wanted to change, like how that affected the gameplay. And then you give yourself like basically code to write with is what I do. Because you don't want to write everything out like yellow rolled 4, he did this, you know, like you really want to simplify it so that you have everything in front of you, like stuff that isn't super important, you just like code it out. So here it's like blue rolled 5, he went center to planet 3, which you can tell from here, center to planet 3. And then red rolled this, and then L is landed, so you know that they got to the planet. And then you write down, because they landed, you write down red encountered. And then this is the Joker of C is spades. You know, so you really like just give yourself an easier time to read what your test does, right? So this was the test I did during the stream. This was the final outcome. I didn't really finish like the full game because there wasn't really an end goal. I just wanted to see the probability of stuff. And then I wrote down all the more important changes that were made during that test. So here's one of the things where it says 5 is perfect, but then because of Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse of a triangle, if there is a right angle triangle, right, then the hypotenuse is always longer than the sides, which might change depending on how the paths connect to the locations, right? Because that's the whole point is when you look here, like how these... Let's see, Mobius, get off my shit. How these sides, this should be connected. This is better. How these are connected to here, right? So this is a right angle, and then these are the hypotenuse. So these should be longer than 5 spaces. But we'll see ideally how that goes. And then we changed having all... How was it before? I kind of forget. We added civilian encounters so that it wouldn't be because if it was just bounties, let's say there's 12 bounties and there's only 12 NPCs that are all bounties, and the further you go, the less characters there's going to be on the map, and then once you get to the last one, there's going to be like no one but that guy. It just feels empty. So we added civilians. We added half of the people be civilians, right? So then you would have half targets, half civilians. And then later on, in the last stream, we chose like, fuck that, let's just make everyone have a bounty possibility, but take out half of those bounties, right? So then everyone is a civilian until their bounty pops up, basically. But then there's still 12 characters left by the end of the game just to populate the world. Just so there is some actual hunting going down, right? And then NPC rotations was also something that was just generally thought about here, and then was further developed later on last stream, which I still am iffy about. We got to do more tests on that. And then this was just a bunch of like, I can't summarize all of these points into full paragraphs, like there's no point. So you kind of just do like, I did a plus sign if I actually added it to the official design doc, put a question mark if it's something I'm not sure about. So all NPCs are reset at the end of a turn with something that we changed later on. But yeah, this is a general just like every point. Most of this was written down during the stream. And then we have this one which was not streamed. And this was just me testing the variability of cards. So, okay. And these are the numbers I'm sticking with, because I did write that I might do 18, but that's like, it's like later on. So you have 24 people. 12 of those people will be bounties. Will be people that you're going after at some point. Not at one point, at some point. Only 4 of those 12 will have bounties up at a time. So that's what's written. Where's that written? It's kind of written here. So you're going after one. No, you're going after one of the 4 of the 12. Right? So 12 wanted. 4 of those wanted are actually posted, and then you're going after one of those people. And then here it's 24 characters, or NPCs. 4 of those are on, there's 4 planets. Ooh. No, yeah. So you're going after one person who's divided into 4 people, who's out of 4 planets. This might be wrong, I just realized. What I'm trying to say is there's 24 cards. 4 times 4 of those cards, which is 16 cards, is on the board. Ooh, I think it should be times, not divided by. I just realized. This makes sense though. But this is like kind of dumb. This is saying, when will the same 4 individuals on the wanted posters be on the board at the same time? Which is like, you don't need that. But like I was writing, like this didn't go well just because I was like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking through my math. I need to talk with like Cross or something, I don't know. Shit about variability. How to calculate it. Basically, it's like one of those dice roll things where what are the chances of you rolling a 1 2 times in a row? Or let's say you're rolling 2 dice. What are the chances of getting both B1s every time? It's one of those things. Anyway. The math. Too much math. Oh, this was a design thing I should think about. Yeah, this kind of summarizes it. 24 cards, 4 planets, 4 cards per planet. 3 is visible but 1 hidden, but still 4 cards. So then 16 NPCs at a time, and there's 8 leftover cards in the deck. And then I wrote out the card list I was using to check the variability. And then every time I, like, you know, got my cards. Yeah. Every time I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 until it's 16. How many of those turned out to have a matching thing out of 4, basically. Right. And it seemed good. I'm not mad about this outcome. I feel like it's just chance though. I don't know if the actual medium or average. It's only like the testing pool is only 6. It's like a very that's extremely shallow for testing. It's just I just want to see. I still think it's good though. I have 24 cards. 12 cards out of those are wanted. It feels like it's 50-50 overall. But then if you're trying to hunt 1 or 4 down, that's like what's 4 out of 12? I don't know. It gets messy. Anyway. And then this is something we talked about with Copper last week. We were going over this, which was the character ideas. I don't think the guys are watching, but I do intend on putting Trippy in there. I want to put Chan in there. I want to put Dave in there. And I think putting Brian and Boss. I mean, Boss actually talked to me last stream. And he actually helped me out a bit, so I think that'd be cool. And then Brian for a meme. Because I like Brian. I don't know about the other guys, though. We'll see. Maybe if they... I was going to say something. But yeah, this is basically what we talked about last time with dynamic poses. How, let's say, blue tentacle guy has 1 interaction with the location or environment, and then 2 interactions with others. And small boy has an interaction with blue and with the gunman, so it's like domino effect on each side kind of thing. And then this is kind of where I need to really think through this today. Just scenarios. And this is something I'll probably be working on for the majority of the time designing this game. I think the like bread and butter is really in this side. Scenarios. Scenarios basically mean like you encounter someone, what do they do possibly? What do they say possibly? I'll probably get a lot of inspiration from a lot of things we'll talk about later on, but like I need to make the world have a personality. I need to really dive deep into like the lore that I want to express. It doesn't have to be deep lore, but it has to be some kind of just fun, like, I don't know, bounty hunter-ish, like Star Wars-ish, something like that. You know, dialogue. And I'll read this soon when I work on things. I actually need to think about that. And then I did write this out, and I did all this, which is basically the aesthetic that I wanted to go for. And it doesn't necessarily need to be these images, but I think these images are what they are. They're inspirations. For when I'm thinking about this world, these are the kinds of things that are like at the back of my head. Right, so of course, Treasure Planet, fantastic movie. Cowboy Bebop, great anime. Need to finish it. Mandalorian, fucking fantastic series. No Man's Sky, great game. Blade Runner game, great movie. Both of them. Although now I'm thinking about it, I don't know how much Blade Runner is going to have an effect on this game. In terms of inspiration. I guess the roughness. Honestly, the only thing that I think about when I'm comparing Blade Runner to this is like the beginning scene of the first Blade Runner. When he's going through the alley. Or not the alley, but like the street of the city. And there's like just shacks. And like the people there. And just the... It is kind of the character design, the fashion. But I think like Copper has that on lock. It's gonna be Copper's like... It's gonna be more Copper style than any inspiration from Blade Runner or anything else. Guardians of the Galaxy, just because it's like... I don't know, there's some elements of that, I think. Like, other than, oh, they have talking raccoon, oh, they have talking tree. Which is kind of... Which kind of, like, in my mind is what it narrows down to, but at the same time, like, I look at Guardians of the Galaxy and there's, like, this fun... I mean, of course everyone knows it's a fucking Marvel Disney movie, but it's like... There's a feeling to it. There's a feeling to the characters that are enjoyable and not as rough. And they all have diverse personalities. One Piece, just because, I mean, it's my favorite thing ever. So, of course, it's gonna be a huge inspiration on this, especially with like wanted posters and going after people, and like that's for sure. And then what I wrote here, like One Piece is such a fantasy, like unrealistic world, but at the same time it's so grounded in reality with its themes and its characters, which I love. So, and then Space Dandy is something apparently kind of similar to Cowboy Bebop, but it's newer. Copper told me about that. I need to check it out. And yeah, here we got some Treasure Planet. Beautiful. Some more Treasure Planet over here, which is like, this is the kind of like mechanical, like not as polished feel I'd love to have with some of the characters. Like I love this. I just love fuck, I keep forgetting his name. But yeah. Just like this I mean, spoilers for Treasure Planet, I guess. This boy greedy as fuck. I mean, he is a pirate, but yeah. And then we got Mandalorian, which is more, honestly, it's less about the outfit, although I love the outfit. It's more about how he's carrying himself, and even more about the background. I really love that it's like just death and destruction, like post-war because of Star Wars. Now we got some Cowboy Bebop just chilling, some Treasure Planet just chilling, and then this drawn by Sparth. Check out Sparth on Twitter. It's just amazing illustrator. I fucking love his work. We can go through some of it right now. Go check some of it out. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't just fucking dox some shit, right? Cloth. Hey, look at this. From Dune. Oh, that's amazing. Dune's one of those things that's like, it's probably a world I would love, but I just have I know nothing about it. I just know the movie's coming out. I know Denis Villeneuve is directing it, which is one of my favorite directors. I love like all of his work. Great, yeah. I could get a lot of inspiration from just Sparth's drawings. It's so good, so good. I love that he's like really is this all Dune? Personal artwork. Yeah, man. I love that he's going more spacey recently. He's been doing ooh. He does a lot of location stuff with like big, it just the scale of his work, or the scale within his work, is phenomenal. I love it. I love all of it. You really feel the worlds that he draws out. Just fucking gorgeous. Look at that. These are all like cities, and then I remember I like this snowy one because I've only seen this one. Yeah, this stuff. I think he draws on like his tablet or his phone or something. Like it's super amazing. Anyway, so he's a big inspiration on me. Maybe I should write him down just as a. Probably should do that. Sci-fi? It's sci-fi, science fiction. And then the bounty aesthetic which is basically what we want, is, or what I have in my head. So what I wrote here, I think, Copper's vibrant character designs are a big inspiration for how the world will turn out. So like I'll have a lot of Copper's OCs and her drawings in my head when I'm thinking of this. That's one of the main reasons I got inspired to like continue working on this, which is what I wrote here. Yeah, vibrant, saturated character designs in a drab, gritty world. A realistic feel in an unrealistic world. Cybernetics. Poor folks have shitty robotic limbs. Yeah, scraps. Just some ideas, but yeah. Maybe not the best way to summarize that, but then we got some of not only Coppers. We got some of Araya's. Check her out on Twitter. Got some Araya's drawings, like Kos over here. Kos. He's one of Araya's, but they do share the same. They're working on the same world, Space Baby, and so a lot of these characters are shared between them. But I will point out that not all of these are Coppers. I think it's pretty I think you could tell which ones aren't Coppers. This one's Raya's, this one's Raya's, this one's Raya's, this one's Raya's. I think it's, I was gonna say it's the shading. Like these have similar shading, but then this one doesn't. I don't know. I mean these are all Copper, but they all look different. Then this is Rise. And all these are, I think this one's Rise, but all these are someone else, but they like commission them. This is cool because it shows off the tech that's in Space Baby, which of course we may just naturally take inspiration from, but just nice to see what they were already working with. And yeah, and then this is me writing out last week's stream. I didn't finish summarizing this. There are some images I'd like to include from the actual stream because we were working in Tabletop Simulator. But I did split this up a bit. So this was the decision here. Screw playable characters, screw NPCs, or screw targets and civilians, lump them all together. 28 characters, all of them have bounties. You choose who you play as, you choose who you go after, split it up however you want, depends on difficulty, depends on how long you want the game to be. I think that's perfect. A lot more player choice is always better. And then yeah, because the wanted will have stats on them, I do think it's a good idea to start in 0 stats. And then stats are dependent on items. I think that makes sense. We'll see though. Because you don't want like to choose the most because there will be differences between characters. And I don't want to limit people of like, oh, you can't use this character because he's the most powerful character that you would go after, you know. I don't think that's fun. I don't think that's fair. Fuck it, like if you want to play as the biggest crime boss in the galaxy and you want to go after motherfuckers, like do it. Dope. And maybe that's not your story. Maybe you want to pick your own story. This we kind of already decided on. It's before basically I'm thinking once you encounter a target at a planet, they reset the planet at the end of the turn. Only once you claim the bounty, which means bringing them to the center, would the entire board reset. Because then it allows people to get to their targets, and they know that you're about to reset everything. I think just in terms of gameplay, maybe in terms of like lore or the world, it makes less sense, but I think for gameplay purposes, it might be better. And then this card stat range, we could work on that today. Scenario stuff, we could work on that. And then this will work on that today. And then this is something I did 2 days ago, which would have been Tuesday. I didn't have too much to show Tuesday, so I didn't stream. But we did do this, and then I've been looking at this, which is a lot of math again. Also this, I just wanted something physically to like have my money as, and I got this. I organized all my two block, what the fuck's it called? What's the measurement of Lego? My 2-piece blue Legos. I already organized my Legos, so I just have to organize them by color for this piece. Turns out I got 77, and I feel like that limitation is good. I feel like just like this is enough money for a game. Like if you were to open a package and it's like, this is the max amount of money. So I might work within that limitation of 77, which one piece equals 1,000, which would mean 77,000. I think it's fine. I think the max bounty should be like 30. I think that should be the biggest bounty on someone. 30,000. I don't want you counting out 50 fucking little pieces. It just feels dumb. I think 30 is fine. And that'll be like the highest tier guy. And then I feel like items should cap at like 10k. Yeah. And I don't want to introduce 500s. Or like half of a piece. I feel like that's unnecessary for, like, I don't want the economy to be the core of the game. It's not the point. The economy is only there to help you gain stats to get your bounties. Like, of course, it's a core part of the loop, the gameplay loop, where when you claim a bounty, you do get money for that. But that's only to help you to get other bounties faster, let's say. Right, it's to speed up the process and to make it an easier process. I don't think it should be the core of like you're in the shop and you're like, what should I buy? Like, it shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes to choose what you're buying. You know, I think you should know what you're getting. Yeah. The money shouldn't be a big thing. And then here is what I was kind of calculating, because I was thinking, and I was like, okay, there are still dwindling numbers within NPCs. We're still gonna lose half of the people by the time the game ends, right? You're gonna come to a point where you can no longer sustain 16 people on the board, because it's gonna be less than that. It's gonna end up with 12, right? So from my calculations, so if we did 24 max number of NPCs minus each time you capture one of them is minusing. So then the max number you're minusing is gonna end up with 12. Of course, this n is 12. I know this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in my head to fucking think through it. And then you're doing 4 times 4, which is 4 cards per planet, right? Which is 16. So if you do all the cards minus 16, then it's 8, which makes sense because 8 is left over. But then that also means that 8 is the limit where there will no longer be 16 cards on the board. Aha! So after 8 captures, 8 out of 12, then I'm thinking you change it from 4 cards per planet to 3 cards per planet. It'll still look populated, but now you're limiting it. If you do that, then it'll be 12, which is perfect because that's the end game anyway. So if you do 12 while there's 16, there's going to be 4 left over, so there's still a chance that your bounty that you're going after will not be on the board. There's still a little bit of that you know, they're you still gotta look for them. And of course, there's still gonna be 4 hidden cards because we're gonna do 2 visible, 1 hidden. So yeah. Ooh, I'm talking a lot. And that's explained here. 0 to 8 leftover cards when 4 per planet. 0 to 4 leftover cards when 3 per planet. I think that's good. On to what I drew. Let's go. Eh. Also, we have a Google Doc with copper now. You know what? Let's go through other inspirations. So we got this. So I didn't put all of it. I put some of it on this document for myself. We of course got this. And we got this. We got this. And then we got some Cowboy Bebop stuff. Just like the chillin' with your spaceship is a vibe, dude. Because it feels better than with, like, I'm not a car guy, right? I'm not a car guy. My dad's a car guy. I'm not a car guy. But it's like an RV that you can fly into space. But it looks cool. And it's, like, personal. It's yours. And I just love this feeling of having your own, like, sick-ass ship and just chillin'. Just flying to a planet and chillin', and that's what No Man's Sky is about. Here we got some, that's what the money's gonna look like in-game. Of course, these are just a representation of that. But it's gonna be a tetrahedron. Which actually, I could leak some lore right now. Some lore about the money that I made up within 5 minutes. In the years after the Great Merge, these blue crystalline minerals were found on the planet of Dai and overmined due to their incredible energy storage capabilities. With them being used in all sorts of technology around the galaxy, the crystals were recognizable to even the lowest commoner. Sadly, each crystal reached its limit over the centuries, becoming useless and abundant twinkling trinkets. Because of its overabundance, diamonds slowly became a tool to represent currency, which was widely available and therefore easy to trade with across the galaxy. They are now regularly refined and chiseled into their most recognizable tetrahedronic shape. I like this shape of currency. I think it's interesting. I was thinking of doing like a flat coin with a hole in it, because I like that design too, but I think something like this is more interesting. I did write here that it's something used across the galaxy, but I don't think it's the main currency. I do feel like this is more of a specific, like, bounty hunter, maybe some, these are like the bitcoins, you know? Some black market, like, just because it's abundant doesn't mean that, like, you should earn these as a regular person, but they still have value. That's why maybe they're not valued at 1, but they're valued at 1,000. I don't know. I'll think about that. And then this is just something else I need to think. Hard light, I think, is something everyone understands. But I was thinking if there's another name for it, like, I don't know, went to a thesaurus and looked up what are synonyms for hard and synonyms for light. Strong shine, firm wave. Reminds me of firmware. Could be interesting. Something ray, maybe strong ray, hard ray. Hard ray. Yeah, I don't know. That's some of the first lore written there. Ooh, I should have also wrote these down. Of course, as I'm going through the progress doc, I'm adding everything important to this design doc, which holds all the information necessary to understand the game. And I need to change this. Bang. We are on version 0.2 or 0.02. Target scenarios and civilian scenarios will be different for now. 20 8 NPC cards. No character cards. There is character tokens, which are ships. Still 4 locations. One in poster cards, which have the stats. Stat levels, payouts. Yeah. Yep, and then these scenarios. Okay. So if you look at this list of game pieces right here, you can also see, okay. I'm again getting ahead of myself. Finish this up. Hyper Light Drifter, fantastic fucking game. Love the atmosphere of this game. There's so much. I don't think there's a single spoken word in this game. I don't even know if there's a written word in this game. I think they're all like in their own language. But it's such an interesting game. I think there's like 4. From what I remember, this was I played it like 3 years ago or something. Definitely one of my top games though. I think there were like 4. You could go to 4 different sides. Each one had a different civilization. Fuck, I think there was like birds, frogs, or the frogs took over because I think there were polar bears. Something else, I think maybe cats. I don't remember the last one. Fish? I think one of them was taken over by crystals. One of them was robots. But it was just an interesting dynamic where there was like a war of some kind. And this is like, again, a post-war scenario. I just love this picture of this fucking gorilla. I think it's a great inspiration for a character design. Look at this man's face. Look how, like, just serious he is. So serious. And of course we got No Man's Sky, which again, just a dude chilling with a spaceship on a fucking planet. That's the vibe, dude. And honestly, I like these. These are like No Man's Sky in its beta. And personally, I think it looks better than how it does now. I always like the style better. It could be pre-renders. I don't think this was playable in this state. Because No Man's Sky wasn't playable in this state when it first came out, but it's not wrote as No Man's Sky, but it's definitely not. It'd be fucking cool if it was. It looks more like Destiny, though. It'd be cool if No Man's Sky had a huge... See, No Man's Sky... I mean, the last update, I will say, did improve this, but it lacks scale. Honestly. Which is a huge... It's so sad. Because one thing I think about when I think about space and locations in space... Fictional, of course, like not real. I mean, real too, to a point. Is scale. Of like huge things. Before this last update, No Man's Sky barely had like tall mountains. Like we did at the beginning. And then when they introduced vehicles, they nerfed the locations, like the bumps and stuff, because they wanted so that you could drive on any area, which made it so that there weren't like 90-degree mountains or something like that, like you would see in this picture. Because, oh, you can't drive up that. But it's like, fuck that, dude. I want high mountains. So then the last update, they actually changed the algorithm, and then we have big ass cliffs and mountains and stuff, which is fucking incredible. But still lacking like big. They did add a big structure. They added a single big structure with different variants. So they look a little different, but it's a single. It's like the archives or something, which is cool. But I want more maybe natural. Big trees, big crystals, I don't know. Just plants, big animals. We got some big animals, but like big animals, dude. I swear in the beginning there were huge fucking animals. Maybe I'm just mistaken. I don't think there's No Man's Sky, but I think it looks cool. Actually, I think it's just art. I don't think it's a game. This is my background. which is No Man's Sky art. I wish there was this many buildings. Dude, this is a dream right here. Someone put a river, but buildings, that doesn't exist in this scale in No Man's Sky. But everything else, I mean, you got your freighters, frigates, you got your dude, got the space station. Very cool. This is No Man's Sky, but it reminds me of it. Is it? Actually, no, I think it is because backpacks are the same. No, of course, yeah, it is. We got the Atlas. Cool. Yeah, give us sand dunes like this. We don't have sand dunes. We have like desert hills, but we don't have dunes. They put in a sand worm. Put in a sand dune. And this is from the latest update, which I think, was this supposed to be a sandworm? They don't fly though. These aren't new. I've seen these before. Dude, they showed off the scarf here and like a cape, and they still haven't added that, and that pisses me off so much. Like, that's one of the biggest cosmetic things I want is capes. Dude, I want capes. That's cool. They added the space skulls and the alien ship. People thought this was going to be a gas planet. Still hasn't been introduced. Interesting that they put the clam shell like object things on land when they're only in the sea. I think these are new plants based off the alien ship. I don't think I've seen anything like that yet. Yeah, interesting. Just vibes, just No Man's Sky vibes, dude. We got the Mandalorian picture, another Mandalorian picture. Rip, no spoilers, or for sure spoilers. Rip Razor Crest. It's a great ship. Oh, I love the holes in this cape. Very cool. See, rugged, used. That's the feeling, used. You want the world to feel used. Great for thinking about like a ship. Got this, beautiful, love it. Got this, beautiful. Skies of Arcadia, I think, is a sky ship game. I think there's definitely some sky ship like games like this that exist, but I haven't played them. But it's definitely an aesthetic I love. Of course, we're not going more piratey this time in this game, but do love that. And then we're back at the beginning. Great. So, of course, referring to, again, what I'm saying here, let's look over what I drew this week. Not that. Not that. This. So this is what I drew initially as the board. And then we got the poses here. What do we start out with? I was thinking about the money. And they're officially going to be called Diamonds. So like the planet of Dai. And then mins as in minerals. Ooh, so cool. But when you say it, it sounds like diamond. It sounds like diamond. And I like that. Because it's a word. It's a word. It's familiar to people. But you still say it the same even though it's spelled differently. But I like the ring of it. 1,000 diamonds. And you don't have to even see, it's like diamond, diamond. Dude, the way you spell diamond is so dumb. It's D, where the fuck am I right? I just thought about this while fucking making this up. D-I-A-M-O-N-D. Diamond. And we say diamond. Diamond. It's I-A, not A-I. Are you saying die? Mund. Then people say diamond. Diamond. It's like barely say the D at the end. So realistically, the way I'm spelling it, die. Min. Diamond. Diamond. Just comes out easier and it's spelled properly. Diamond. But anyway, this is the deciding on the diamond logo. If anyone's watching, let me know which one so far you like the best. Again, these aren't like for sure, but this one kind of reminds me of like the Gucci logo for some reason. I do like this one, although I feel like it's a it feels like a generic mountain logo. But I think I do like this one the most as a currency logo. I don't mind the ones with lines going this way. These feel futuristic in a weird way. I think if this was thicker here, I would like this one a lot. But I do like the triangle and not the D. The D could be in a different font and could look better, but it's going to be difficult to go through all the fonts. Yeah, that's one thing. And then we move on to NPC cards. We got my boy, we got my alien boy, my logo. Using them as reference for characters. So this is more, this is gonna be for copper too. But it's more to just fully understand what we want these cards to look like. So, other than the inside white of the character, everything that's white here will be transparent. I am unsure of the back being a ship with a transparent background. I'm not sure. I like having a fully opaque background for one side of the card, just when you're shuffling. I feel like it's weird to shuffle cards that are transparent. That's why I don't expect people to shuffle the NPCs with this facing up. That's just something you put down. When you're shuffling it, the back should be up. It's gonna look weird. So I'm still undecided on that. But for now, this is purely so that there are moments where you encounter... Let's go here. There are moments where you encounter the ship, say there's an encounter here. Or like in the middle of this path. Since this one's going to be 7, it's probably going to be 3, 3, and then in the middle there's going to be an encounter. This is going to be longer. So I'm thinking that'd be a good place to do it. So I'm thinking the scenario would be you fuck with a target, everyone escapes the location but not the full place, and you can, maybe one of them escapes, you shuffle it, one of them escapes, and then someone can encounter the person that's leaving, but you don't know who it is, if it's a civilian or the bounty, because it could be that the bounty escapes. You know, it's a little iffy rule. Maybe we'll think about that one. Yeah, basically this, and then this. The most important thing about doing that is to make this, which is the character sheet, and this is a big piece here. Big piece. So my camera. Character sheet designed it to look like inside of your spaceship. So this whole card here will be in front of you, right? And because you can choose any character you want, we're putting a little Dom Alien Boy in his pilot cabin. I'm not going to draw another dude, so I'm also testing how he looks like in the prison, in the brig. I don't think there's going to be jail bars. My dad looked at this and he's like, isn't it supposed to be futuristic? And then I thought, yeah, but I mean, it's more for myself just to know what's going on, but you're right. So this might be like one of those, like those futuristic, like blue hologram, like that's a hard light tech that I was talking about earlier. That's probably going to be like the Wanted poster, same kind of texture. And then a different token for when they're dead, because I do think it's important to signify if someone's dead or alive for yourself, so that you don't forget when you're handing in the bounty, because that is something important. Then you got your armory station, which is where you stack your cards, which is where all the stats line up. And then this is just a rough thing of the item card. This card is an example of an item card. All stats align for each understanding effects written here. That's kind of what it's going to look like. And then of course the brig. And I do think these should look different, at least a little bit, for each player. So at least 4 different ones. Maybe different colors. different styles, but I do think it should be facing like that, where it's like the inside of a room, because we are going to have some character standing, some sitting, so it should be positioned in a way where it always looks natural, right? I think the same thing with the prison. And then here with the stats, I did just roughly do this. I like the hexagon style. I like the primary colors of it. This is basically going to be a thing where when it's written in a scenario, which we might do soon. I've been talking for an hour about what I've done so far because this is a summary stream. Let's say it's a summarizing what this is. And the scenario card, it could say like, you need an attack greater than 3. Right. So it's gonna be a symbol like this. Just so, what is it, like accessibility, I guess? Which, I mean, I'm not thinking about colorblind people. That might be, I don't know. There's different kinds of colorblind people. Like, you have to make all kinds of colors then. Ooh. And see, that's one accessibility thing. Maybe these should be different shapes as well. That's not a bad idea. I should write that down. Bada boom, bada bing. I also had it written as December recently, which I totally thought we were still in December. Even though it's 2021. I don't know what I'm thinking. For developing. And then for colorblind / disability reasons, make stat markers be different shapes as well as different colors. You know what I mean? Let's say someone just sees black and white and they can't tell the difference between blue, red, and yellow. So we're either writing attack. No, it should just be a different shape because a different shape is identifiable. They see the number, you know. But I think a different shape isn't a bad idea. Yeah, but the thing is, here it's positioned in this way, so it's identifiable here. But when it's written on a scenario, I mean, it could just be written D or A or S. Could. Because I do like the consistency. I do like the consistency of the hex marker. Possibly stats line up in item easily identifiable. Could maybe make easier to know what it is. Defense or speed on scenario and because I don't think the wanted cards scenario, I don't think the wanted cards are gonna have it positioned in the same way where it's vertically. I was actually thinking it being horizontal, but I might change my mind. I think it should stay consistent. The only reason they're vertical is because I want them to stack like this instead of up to down, because if they were horizontal they could stack up to down, but then that would go off the board. I also think you could keep items in your hand, which also stacks horizontally, not vertically. Vertical stacking is just kind of weird when you're on a table, like it's going forward instead of yeah, and then this kind of, you'll know what this is a little bit. You know, you can identify what items you have. If it was horizontal, then you would stack and it'd be like right here. So then you would only see the stat, you wouldn't know what card it's connected to, so I think this is good. So I might just have to rethink how I'm imagining the wanted cards. I could do that. I could do that. I still haven't really drawn the wanted card. I have the one picture. Man, I said I was gonna react to videos and I still haven't turned on a single video. I'm surprised. I should also eat. I should also piss. Go take a piss. I might just do that. I think that's the last thing I drew. That was like the big thing I drew. Character sheet. Just because it has all the elements. Right. Items got money. I could separate the item card on a different document. But I like this. I like this a lot. I like that it's one big ship. I like that. Also, it doesn't have to be a rectangular card. Maybe we could do like the front of this. The back's a little fun detail. Back a front and back of character have element of us of your personal base mark. It could be, it's fun, but it could be a lot of work. I'm gonna take a piss. I'm gonna just turn on. Sonic music, don't DMC me. I think it's time to actually work. Meaning, I was thinking there's two things I could do. I could either do scenarios and figure that out Although I would like if someone was in chat to help me out with that. Because I do think it's I need someone to bounce off of for that idea. And I do need some like actual inspiration for that, or else it's gonna come out really meh, really mid. Or I could open up Tabletop Simulator and make like an actual working prototype with playing cards, which is feasible. This is feasible. I could do both. I'm only an hour in. So let's try that. First I want to kind of do some paint. I'll try to do the scenario cards. I do have some ideas with the scenario cards. Let's turn on a video that isn't gonna get me DMCA'd. Could listen to. I need some. Got some news I need to get through. Like EA. EA loses Star Wars exclusivity. Hell yeah. Mr. Matty plays, baby. Let's turn that on. Got that in the corner.
So a lot of you out there have had a lot to say about my Christmas trees, whether it's the big one here in the background or we're in my bedroom and I got the little one there. And guess what? Because of your feedback, I'm keeping them up till February.
So I'm not going to talk much right now. I'm just going to work.
Don't try me. Don't try me. More importantly, Star Wars is seemingly saved in the gaming universe, okay? It looks like Lucasfilm has woken up one day and went, why did we just exclusively give all the Star Wars games to EA? Now, I'm not going to slander them too hard. I think Jedi Fallen Order was fantastic. It's one of the best Star Wars games I've played in my entire life. I think Battlefront 2 managed to bounce back. Very fun Star Wars multiplayer experience. Star Wars Squadrons. A lot of people really like that game. I did too. So there have been some good Star Wars games out of EA, and there will continue to be more Star Wars games from EA. But the most significant part of everything that's happening today is that the exclusivity is dissolving before our very eyes, and now my brain is melting with potential ideas. Platinum Games in Star Wars, Obsidian in Star Wars, Bethesda in Star Wars, CD Projekt Red in Star Wars. I mean, the list goes on. There is so much potential here, and the reason that these ideas are running through our heads is because of a Lucasfilms Games blog post, as well as the confirmation that Ubisoft Massive, a Swedish studio who worked on the Division series, is going to be heading up an open-world, story-driven Star Wars game. Now, I get it, all right? I've reviewed 3 Ubisoft games this past fall: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, and Immortals Phoenix Rising. And Ubisoft tends to have a DNA to their open worlds. I like their open worlds design-wise, but usually the gameplay mechanics and objectives within them can feel a bit repetitive. So I'm hoping this isn't like the 80th millionth sandbox that we're gonna go ahead dive into.
Stuff.
And it's just gonna have like lightsabers or blasters.
So I don't block anything with my camera.
Snowdrop engine that they're gonna be using, and because it is Ubisoft Massive, I'm anticipating thoroughly here a third-person shooter. Maybe you're like a bounty hunter or something. I don't know.
Hell
it's
yeah,
gonna be
baby.
awesome though, because there's so.
This is the main point. The inspiration for this game is 1 because of The Mandalorian, 2 because of No Man's Sky, and 3 because of Copper's drawings. Right? Mandalorian, I watched the first season. I'm probably gonna rewatch it for inspiration for this, but that gave me a huge buzz of like, I need bounty hunter content. I've needed it since I initially watched Star Wars. Since I initially, I'm like Cowboy Bebop. Gave me that. Like, there's always a moment. Everything that inspired me, that was written on that list, gives me a hankering for a bounty hunter game. And I was thinking of doing a video game, and I'm not going to spend time making a video game. So I'm making a board game. But hell, if any company wants to make a good space-based, you're a space cowboy or a space bounty hunter, make a good fucking game, go right ahead. I will buy it the second day comes out or the second reviews come out, because I am unsure about the game industry now. The game industry has lost my trust, even though technically I might be part of the game industry at this point, or I want to be part of the game industry. I'm doing my best to try my hardest and make something of quality and that's not garbage and that people will have fun playing. But hey, if they want to fucking put time into that, hell yeah.
Much potential here given Lucasfilm's game's new initiative. So we're going to read through the blog post, and then your boy's going to lose it because you know where I'm going with this. KOTOR! Let's go!
Maddie loves KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. I've never played it. It's in my library. I might play it. That might be just the kind of inspiration I need for this game, honestly. I know that game is rich in character development, and Star Wars is a rich world, and especially like expanded universe before Disney bought it out was really good. So,
oh, okay, here we go. Let's read. I did trim some of the fat out of this article, so just keep that in mind that we are somewhat paraphrasing what was written here, because there's a lot of like PR speak in between. I'm like, we just want to talk about the games and everything that's happening with that. So, okay, let's read. Moment, Riley is referring to a new direction and era for Star Wars and Lucasfilm gaming overall, as Lucasfilm Games is now opening the doors to developers that want to come play in the galaxy far, far away. We're looking to work with the best-in-class teams that can make great games across all of our IP. We've got a team of professionals here at Lucasfilm Games who can work with the developers, shape the stories, shape the creative, shape the games to make them really resonate with fans and deliver across a breadth of platforms, genres, and experiences so that all our fans can enjoy the IPs they know and love. Now, I remember when the whole EA Battlefront 2 conundrum was happening at its launch. It was pretty indicative that Disney did not care too much about games. They literally handed EA the deal and kind of just cleared their head of it. There was an out of sight, out of mind sort of approach to giving EA the exclusive rights to the deal. But I imagine because of EA's staggering mishandling of the Star Wars license, the lack of production of titles, even if some of those games were of quality, and of course the controversy that came with being with EA, I'm sure one day Disney just went, we need to do something about this. So when they mention a breadth of IP that people can work on games with, you gotta make a Mandalorian game, man. Come on. Like this thing is written in the stars. That show is so popular. It's so good. I mean, a Clone Wars.
Not only is Mandalorian popular, I would argue, Mandalorian. I should chew my food before I talk. Mandalorian is the best video game, movie, or series adaptation ever. It takes every element of a video game, doesn't matter if it's in Star Wars or not, every element of a video game. Going after people, upgrading your items, escort missions, fighting enemies, like weapon and ammo stuff. Everything, and currency. I mean, the Beskar is basically an upgrading system that works both as currency and upgrading your armor and stuff. That's the perfect system for a video game. Like inner system, like upgrading system. Perfect. Decide if you want to sell it for money, or decide if you want to use it to upgrade your shit. What an incredible idea.
Game, a Clone Wars game. All we have based off that Clone Wars show is like a really crappy like 6-hour PS3 and 360 game that has awful combat. It's not good. And there's a Lego Star Wars game, but like there is so much potential to right the wrongs of Star Wars gaming. There was a golden era, right? There was a golden era in the early 2000s where you got KOTOR, Republic Commando, the Lego Star Wars games. They were doing what they're doing now, right? They were going to developers, hand-picking, saying, hey, Pandemic, you can make us a good Battlefront game. Listening to the creative, inspired pitches of developers. So we're getting that nowadays where technology has really moved forward. Like, KOTOR, come on! In regards to the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game, they say we've spent almost a year now working to get to know them and what they want to bring to the table. I'm a huge fan of them personally. I think we're really excited about where the project is going because they have a unique vision for the story and the game they want to deliver. So I just wanted to put this in here as
Dude, and open world, I mean, come on. That's hype as shit. That's so fucking hype. I don't care if that's Ubisoft or not. That's still hype.
sort of a time frame for how long these things have been in development and in talks for. So this is a talk that's been going on for about a year now, and it'll be a while before we see this game, by the way. Same thing with the Indiana Jones game. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked in the description down below. Give it a look. But yeah, in that video, I say that it'll be a while before we see Indiana Jones because Wolfenstein 3 is coming first. And in the case here of Ubisoft Massive, they just kind of inked the deal, right? And so they're doing what Star Wars did just last month, where I think it was on the night of the Game Awards. They're like, we're doing an Ahsoka show. We're doing a Star Wars anime. They like listed off 80 different Star Wars shows. And they're like, yep, we're doing them all. And we'll see you in like a couple of years when they're all ready. And so I think they're going to take that same approach to games, which is going to be very interesting to see how the community responds. Right now, I'm excited about this, but more so for the prospect of what other developers can
I'm just
do.
thinking
For
of the
me,
design
Ubisoft
for
is a
this.
solid dev, but like they're like a solid 7 to 8 out of 10.
Like, putting a title here. I still want the color as an easy identifier. As soon as you... Just when you have a card. I think the back might be an identifier too. I think there should be some kind of identifier at the front. Right. I think that's a fine idea.
Kind of dev, right? Like, I don't think they're going to suddenly break their habits and do something different just because lightsabers are here, but that's just my 2 cents. In regards to EA, they say, we're really proud of the games we've created with EA. We will continue working with them, and our relationship has never been stronger. While we may not have a lot of details to share at the moment, we've got a number of projects underway with the talented teams at EA.
You always want to keep any derivatives of what you're doing just on the side in case you were to ever change anything. And this is a specifically Paint thing to do. I am doing this in Paint just because it goes faster for me.
So I was thinking about games from the EA studios that haven't done anything with the Star Wars license, and they do have the EA Originals program where I'd like to see maybe like a Joseph Forrest kind of co-op Star Wars game. That would be really neat to see. Of course, BioWare, outside of the Old Republic MMO, which is handled mostly by BioWare Austin, they haven't done anything really with the Star Wars license. It's just been DICE.
The Star Wars MMO is interesting because I feel like I would have gotten into that. They never did.
And
Was it free? I don't remember.
And so I would like to see what else EA plans on doing with the Star Wars license, because they say multiple here. So I'm still curious what EA is up to. I'm sure they're the furthest along, so it'll be only a matter of time before we learn more with that. But I anticipate we'll hear from them first and then all these other games later on. All this news comes on the heels of an official return to the classic Lucasfilm Games branding, and there's meaning in that change. This is really the culmination of years of preparing to come out and say, we're here, we've got a team of people, we're going to make a lot of great games, and here's some new things you weren't expecting from us that we're starting to do. And that's going to continue throughout the next year or so, where we're going to continue to announce projects that are more representative of the legacy of the old Lucasfilm games that we are trying to live up to. So, more announcements are coming. More announcements are on the way. So this is not it. Tomorrow I could wake up and there could be a new Old Republic game. That gives me life in 2021, unlike anything else. You guys have no idea. I have been holding my breath for something in the Old Republic universe. Something. And they said all their IP. I know. I'm just like, I'm fanboying here. I'm trying to just really stretch, reach, but you all know how passionate I am about that section of Star Wars. Like, go just look up Mr. Matty Plays Old Republic. Look how many friggin' videos I've made. I adore the Old Republic part of the Star Wars universe. I need more of it. The world needs more of it. What I want is, because Star Wars is so popular now, a lot of people like to dog on Star Wars and go like, it's awful, it's bad. And I agree with the sequel movies. They're not that great. But I got to say, Star Wars is still, I think, more popular than ever. And so with that in mind, I want to see with it at its most popular, where people are talking about The Mandalorian, signing up to Disney Plus just to get Star Wars shows, talking about the Clone Wars, I want people to see the new section of Star Wars that didn't get enough attention back then. And that was the Old Republic. It was a popular thing for gaming. It's a popular thing for comics and books. But the actual movies, shows, games, none of that is there. This is it. They're going to do something with the Old Republic, okay? If you don't recall, I made a video about a year ago. Jason Schreier had emailed me saying that Star Wars, the Old Republic, in some way, shape, or form was like on and off. Like there was something happening in that universe, not the Old Republic as in the MMO, but something was happening in the universe, and that he wasn't sure if EA was involved.
Weird.
Now we know why that was the case, right? Not like Jason was hiding anything, but now we know why that was the case, because Lucasfilms has been doing this for years. So they're tinkering with the Old Republic. It's just a matter of when. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, whether it's a remaster, a remake, or just, I imagine it's going to be a whole new game in the universe. I will take it. I will take it. Now, if it were to be like Obsidian, I would be excited, but honestly, with Avowed and Grounded and future games like The Outer Worlds 2, I feel like their plate is so full right now. And BioWare, I don't know how much I trust them. I got to see.
Was Outer Worlds even, like, that great? I feel like Grounded has potential. Actually, maybe Outer Worlds is exactly what I'm looking for. I just don't know it. Because I know there is like a... Aren't you a bounty hunter in that game? I'm unsure. But Grounded definitely has potential. I just think they need to work on it. Alright, I completely fuck this. Ball. Ball.
How Mass Effect Legendary Edition pans out and how exactly Dragon Age 4 pans out. So I don't know where the Old Republic will end up going. But I got to say, I'm very excited for whenever that does happen because I feel very confident about it. I put it out into the universe. I was like, 2021 is the year. So get ready. Just to cap off our discussion, because I thought this was interesting, given the fact that we talked about Indiana Jones yesterday, they say we are extremely fortunate to be working with Todd Howard, the executive producer for the upcoming game, in reference to the Indiana Jones game, which will be developed by Machine Games and the team at Bethesda. Here's the kicker. He has a unique vision and a unique passion for Indiana Jones and pitched us a story and a concept that is so amazing. I can't wait to start sharing it with folks. I love Star Wars, and we love making Star Wars games, but it's been a long time since we made Indy. We're really excited about this one. So we speculated that Todd Howard was going to be sort of on the legality and the funds management front. He pitched the story and the concept.
That's kind of crazy.
He's more in this game
Good for Todd.
than any of us anticipated, which kind of lends to the
Good for
idea.
Todd actually working on shit he wants to work on instead of just another Elder Scrolls or Fallout. I feel like both Starfield and this Indiana Jones thing are might actually come out well because the team is working on something new, something they're passionate about. Like honestly, like this drive for when you're working on something new and different, there's like a new kind of drive like I am with this. Like you're starting from ground zero and you're building it up and it's so fun.
Idea that Starfield is closer to being done. But we're trying to talk Star Wars here now. We're talking Indiana Jones, Starfield. I'm going to try to keep it narrowed. This is crazy. This is crazy. I cannot express my excitement just because EA has really, they didn't publish as many games as I think a lot of us had expected. And so that's what really hurt it, because in the terms of quality, if you look at Battlefront 2 now, it launched horrifically. But even then, when the game launched, I was like, this game is way better than the original.
What is it? Fucking Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is free on Epic right now, just so you know.
Microtransactions BS.
I paid for that
and
shit.
They did. And they added
Recently.
a ton of content for free on top of it. And a lot of heroes and villains. And a lot of maps and modes and instant action. Like, they really piled it on. So if you look at Battlefront 2 and you look at Squadrons and you look at Jedi Fallen Order, there is a good, tight portfolio of games. But in the span of, what has it been? 8 years?
I was going to say 5 years.
8 years? Like, I mean,
Jeez.
that is not good. 3 games, like, with the amount of studios that EA owns, there should have absolutely been more. They completely mishandled it. And so that's what's most exciting to me. It's not really the Ubisoft open world game, but all the parts of Star Wars that I love, particularly the prequels as well as the Old Republic, seeing more of that. And of course, There is the High Republic. I bought a book for the High Republic. I'm excited to read that, learn more about that part of the universe. But there is the High Republic, which is going to be the next step into Star Wars. Time will tell. But for now, I got to catch my breath because KOTOR. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if I was a little off the walls this video, but clearly this news has excited me. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. What is your dream collab between a developer and Star Wars? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And with that, talk to all of you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.
All right, what's next? I was listening to Your Movie Sucks Talk to Destiny, so I might continue that because I think they were actually talking about Star Wars for a bit.
I guess I just quoted Star Wars.
There we go.
Oops.
Oh, true. That is Star Wars.
Mm. That's what Star Wars is good for, is just prequel memes. That's about it.
Yeah.
There's this growing sentiment that the prequels are better than the new trilogy.
Listen, that sentiment is only because the young Zoomers? The old Zoomers. Because I'm considered a Zoomer, right? I'm like on the edge of Millennial and Zoomer. The oldest Zoomers grew up with the prequels. The youngest Zoomers now grew up with the current sequels. So that's where the divide is. And you kind of want to represent your team, your age, your time. And I think that makes sense. The sequel trilogy had good effects. Had a lot of potential. Squandered a lot of that potential. Squandered it. But they're not. I mean, the last one's kind of really bad. But Force Awakens isn't terrible. Last Jedi could have tweaked some things. You just take it off that last. Take off this peg. But
I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it, even though I don't give a shit myself.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone back and I've watched parts of the prequels, and I unironically think that these are some of the best, like, unintentionally funny movies of all time. They're actually so bad. It's unbelievable. I think... Or go ahead.
Sorry. I had to rewatch them for my podcast because it's like a movie recommendation podcast, and my co-host recommended the prequels, and so I had to rewatch them. And what I did is I turned on the described video for the visually impaired
Okay.
on the Blu-ray, and so basically the entire movie was narrated with a very there's a lot of like really popular movies that will have this feature, and it's if it's a slog and you hate the movie, you gotta turn it on because it makes it so much more watchable. Because you get these scenes where it's like, Jar Jar then sticks his tongue out and falls on his bottom. Like literally, like as it's happening, I'm like, okay, this is different. This is like more of a meme now.
Interesting.
So
okay. I thought
that's
that the
how
new
I was able to tolerate it.
Yeah, I thought that the new ones tried to be more serious. I think they did some things okay, but I don't care that much about Star Wars stuff. And then two, I don't know, they just seemed like the going back and forth between directors. Like if you did care, did you watch all three of the later ones?
I don't care about the. I don't think I care about the Skywalkers after Luke. I think they could have made you care. And honestly, Kylo Ren wasn't a bad character. He was definitely made a better character in the final movie. but they really, it was like way too late. It was like you should have done the second movie. I don't know.
Ones.
Unfortunately, yes. And yeah, I agree. It
I
seemed
got-
like two different people fighting over what Star Wars
Yeah.
should be in the same trilogy.
I got whiplash over. Like, I think I just distinctly remember the end of the first one was
The beginning of the third one is horrible. They're going through shit so fast. It's basically 2 movies in one. J.J. Abrams was just trying to like push away everything. What's his name of the second one did, and like no. This is what's important. It's like you can't do that in one movie, especially when it's cut down to like, was it even 3 hours? Like fuck, I don't know.
characterized by like who are Rey's parents is the most important question of the universe. And then the ending of the second one was like
Oh,
the little kid like picks up the broom and it's like anybody can use the Force. And then the end of the third one was like actually wrong.
Ray
She's actually like
Skywalker.
Palpatine's fucking or Luke's fucking daughter or
Should
whatever.
have said Ray Palpatine.
Yeah, it was like okay, well, yeah, that was like really weird. Also, the kiss at the end with Kylo was so out of left field. I actually wasn't ready for it.
You just reminded me about that.
I-
I completely forgot about it.
It was the most like brotherly,
True.
sisterly rivalry ever. I was not ready for that. I was like, oh my god, holy shit, I was not ready. And then I'm willing to accept like I'm never gonna be the guy in the theater who's like, well, by the laws of physics, this doesn't, or like, well, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have this on their ship. Blah, blah, blah. However, the whole end of the like ninth movie, I guess, or whatever, or the third movie in that trilogy was so unbelievably contrived that I like my eyes were rolling out of my fucking head. Like
It was disappointing for everybody, no matter where you were coming from.
yeah, like
If you liked it or hated it, it was somehow disappointing.
The
regardless.
magical, like,
nobody was happy with that.
12 million crew fleets with the strongest ships in the galaxy where every ship could blow up 12 planets, but they all need like one little easily destroyable radar base to guide themselves off a planet. Like they can't just fly up. Like what the fuck? Like all of that was just so contrived and like, oh,
Yeah.
like couldn't you have
Yeah,
thought
I never
of
find
anything else?
myself getting too caught up in the logic part of the Star Wars movies because I don't get there mentally.
For sure.
I'm like already checked out before I get to the logic part.
Yeah, but I mean, like at the very least, like in the sixth movie, or no, I'm sorry. Wait, when is he blow up?
Episode 6 or
Yeah,
third film? Is that what you
Episode
mean?
6. I'm trying. There's the one like the one where he shoots the proton torpedoes and blows up the Death Star. Like it works narratively.
Wasn't that
5 or 6?
episode 4?
4? Did he do it at the end of 4? He might have
Because
done it at the end of 4.
so that's the famous scene where he blows up the Death Star. I think was in episode 4.
Okay, people are saying 4.
Was it
Yeah,
not?
I don't remember. Yeah,
Oh,
4. The end
yeah,
of the
got
first
it.
one. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Even if
I'm,
that's
I'm
like
the biggest Star Wars fan.
Nice
I'm a huge
job.
nerd.
yeah. even if that setup is contrived. So when I say contrived, I mean like clearly this only is like this because it works for the plot. Even though it's contrived, like narratively it works. You know, oh, he's become a Jedi. Trust. Like sure, it makes sense. But like when things are contrived for like the purpose of just being contrived, or there's not even like a good like story reason to do it. Like I don't know. That just makes me roll my eyes hard. I don't know.
Well, because they always were just falling back on let's just do what the other ones did, which
Yeah, I guess.
I
yeah.
thought was acceptable in episode 7 because
sure.
it's like, okay, this is just a jumping off point,
Mhm.
right? And then I guess episode 8 jumped off too far and then they brought it back.
The whole casino section in episode 8, I'm still not entirely sure what the fuck that was for. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the most disappointing. This is okay. I don't feel very strongly about a lot of movie things. This is the one thing I will fight.
Is this a different movie?
No, it's a TV series. I will die on this.
Okay,
hill.
can I get you to hold this thought while I
Hold
pee
it.
real quick?
Go pee? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Be careful. So weird thing on the ends of any cat. Here, Jupiter. Can I? Oh wait, actually, I'm going to of media of all time. And
Oh,
when I say
Game
all
of
time, I mean
Thrones.
my
Okay.
incredibly limited viewing library of the past 10 years. Okay.
Sure.
Is motherfucking Game of Thrones. Did you watch it? Did you follow it?
I watched the first 3 episodes and thought, why would I continue if I don't give a shit about anybody? And then never watched another one and enjoyed the
shit
entire
show?
downfall that everybody else was experiencing from afar.
Oh
what
my
happened.
god. What a what
You,
a
you bitch. You fucking bitch. Me and my parents had front row seats to the downfall of Game of Thrones. So sad. So utterly disappointing. It's like, of recent memory, one of the only, I think it might be the only series that my parents actually enjoyed with me. My mom was the one that got me into it. She was the one that told me about it, dude. Because she's into like fantasy stuff. Like she loves Lord of the Rings and shit. And yeah, we were so hyped for that last season, man. God damn.
Fuck, I can't complain about that then. Just wow. It's whatever you think
Yeah.
you know about pain and suffering, you don't. You just don't unless you.
So, are you more so just upset with where it went and you enjoyed it to begin with, or?
The problem is that you shouldn't be able to take something and
Alright. So this is kind of the this is kind of rough. I don't know how I feel about this. We need a way to know the roles. And I think symbolizing them is good. Because you could just do numbers. But you would need a symbol for those numbers. You can't just have a number. You already have dice. So it ain't horrible to do this. Not horrible. And now the decision is dialogue and then effect. This is not much space for that. It's not a lot of space. So these need to be equally cut up. That's why this, I feel like this could even like not be here. Or not be there at all, and it could just be the background is red. Right? That's one idea. That's one idea. Like this color. I don't like none of what's happening here. I don't like none of this. Whatever. And then you can move all of this up. Right? Could do that. It gives you more space for sure. And then maybe you would even have space for a fifth one. But I think 4 scenarios is enough. And then you just kind of change, 2 to 4. Mm, 2 to 4. Two to 4. So let's go up and let's see what I had in mind. So this is an example of an encounter. But to do one scenario per card still would allow for random outcome, but having multiple scenarios on one card connected with dice rolls allows for more diverse. 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6. 2 out of 6 chance, 1 out of 6 chance, and then you could do a 3 out of 6 chance, but then that would lead to 3 scenarios, which isn't bad. I don't think I'm gonna do 2 1 1 1. I don't think I'm gonna do that because it feels like a lot for no reason. Honestly, it feels like 4 is a lot. So I don't really need this because I already kind of chose that. Civilian encounter cards can also have random scenarios along with regular scenarios that each player do. This is one of the things I need to think about. Because I'm thinking. Each civilian encounter. Alright. Each civilian encounter should have at least one scenario where you have at least one scenario where you can gain money, one scenario where you gain intel. Like, what are the elements that are important in this game? You know what I mean? What is this game made of? Ship speed equals movement. Should you gain movement from a civilian? No. I don't think so. You can gain movement from an item, right? Movement speed dependent on dice modified by items. Money for a second. Money dependent on claimed bounties. That's one. Selling items. That's two. Bounties will have prices. Items will have prices. Character cards will not. And then possibly from scenarios healing. So we gotta think about money. Money is one thing. Intel. Showing hidden. Revealing. Revealing hidden NPCs. Information. Intelligence. Info. Intel slash. Revealing NPCs dependent on Ooh. Dependent. I like the word dependent. It is dependent on because you can't lose buying slash selling. Buying slash selling items. Stealing modified by scenario. Plus slash minus. Right? That makes sense. Losing and gaining money. Or gaining and losing. Gaining slash losing money. Dependent on claimed bounties, buying, selling items, scenarios, stealing, bribing, right? Because you're losing money with bribing. Stealing is plus, bribing is minus, buying minus, gaining. Just so it's modified. So like the how much money you're getting for something. How much multipliers modified. Modified. Or multiplied, modified, right? Right, so how this is base. Roll 6, you move 6. You roll a 2, you move 2. But it can be multiplied or modified. Right? Money, gaining, losing. Gain with bounties. You loot, rather you lose money and you lose money by buying, gain money by selling, get money by stealing, lose money by bribing. It's like plus then minus. Or consistency, what the fuck is this? And then modified, multiply your money or get more money. Depends on something. What is the word I'm looking for? Convincing. Right? Convincing. Kill, capture, evade, escape, buy, gift, tell, reset. What is the word I'm looking for? Convince. Something with charisma, something with convincing. What's the word? What do you do? You sway, you persuade, persuading. Persuading. I like that word. Persuading. Advising, assuring, cajoling. Extorting. What does extorting mean? Extortion. Ah. Like extortion. I like that. Extorting. What was the word? Persuading. I don't think that's the exact word. But it's definitely similar. And Intel info is dependent on scenarios. You can't steal, you can extort for that. You can bribe for that. So let's say you lose money, but you gain intel. That's the kind of thing here. You can persuade for that. It's not the right word. Extorting is attack, bribing is money, persuading is speech. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Multiple avenues for gaining intel. I like that a lot. Is there a way to do it with defense? I do not think so. I do not think so. One thing I was thinking. Kill equals greater target picture equals defense greater than attack. See something in the background? Oh yes, some Pokemon music. Or the other thing. Here's another thing. Items. Keep writing that. Is that like a Canadian thing? Why do I keep writing that wrong? It is a Canadian thing, you motherfucker. And you was spelling out right the entire time. Americans. I do think gifting is a thing. Dependent on system. So again, it's a gaining, losing scenario. Same thing, stealing. You can steal an item. You can do all of this. which is its own like thing. Stealing could be defense. Because there's no sneak, there's no movement. I think defense, I think that's actually good. All of these you get it for free. I think that's the point. You're gaining money off of stealing, you're gaining money off of this. And then persuading would also be. I think this is good. Okay, I think I understand now. Some of them you shouldn't be able to steal though. Maybe. Maybe. Gaining, losing money dependent on claimed bounties. Getting money, selling, getting money, buying items. Scenarios: stealing, extorting, persuading, bribing. Modified by scenario: persuading. Stealing, you can't modify it. Extorting, possibly. Bribing, I think both of these actually. Stealing, you're stealing what he has. Extorting, yes. Persuading, yes. Bribing, you're losing money. Additional multiplier. Like extorting or threatening. What is Okay, I mean that's through force or threats. Blackmail. Shakedown. I'm gonna write this in the I have a words document. Bip, bip, bip. Bip, bip, bip. Bip. Tumblr. So we're doing steel. Healing is defense. Extorting. Coercing. Shakedown. Kind of like it's like an attack. It's like a move in a fighting game. Stealing, and then speech is persuading. Extort, coerce. Bad image. But yes, that is what we're looking for. Shakedown, steal, persuade. He was like, what are you gonna do? Steal, persuade, extort, coerce, shakedown. Shakedown! See, I think shakedown could be like stealing, but with attack instead of stealing. And info, until you're getting through all of these, you can't multiply that. No, you should. Can't modify that unless you do like more. Modified by, I don't know. Item. Keep spelling scenarios wrong too. Items dependent on system center shop. Buying and selling items. Adding and losing. Scenarios, stealing. But it's all the same. So stealing is bribing. Stealing, extorting, persuading, bribing. But bribing, you actually gain items. So this is rare though. Getting an item is rare. I don't know if you should uncover multiple people. Maybe there's an item. I don't think it should be scenario based. This is rare. See, while I'm thinking, I need music, but while I'm like just working, I need videos. Weird. I need to focus. What else is there? What's your stat? Stats. Dependent on items. Stats are dependent on items. Modified by items. I don't think your stats should be modified by items. Location. I don't think your stats items items shouldn't be modified. Like how many you get. Scenario, right, there was also the scenario of, so all of these, bribing's a weird one, because you're basically buying the item anyway. Bribing someone to give you an item, that's weird. Gifting. But 0. Done. Zero money. And you could probably buy an item for money. You could probably sell an item. The intel shouldn't be a scenario though. And each one of these could be a scenario. Maybe that's the point. Like there's a there's a dude, but let's say you can't scenario card. What does it say? Civilian scenario. And then so another thing here, steal, bribe, interrogate. Oh yeah, interrogate was one. Ooh, interrogate should be for info. Ooh, items. Interrogate is kind of extorting though. I feel like it should be these words. Like, steal. A greater than I. Five. Three diamond. Interrogate. If attack greater 2 each greater than 6. Get 2 in, you know? So there should always be, ooh, maybe that's the thing. There should always be one scenario where you gain money, one scenario where you gain intel. But the way you do it is dependent on the scenario card. You don't get to role play, oh, this time I'm gonna. Nah, you gotta do one of these things. That might be fun. Because I think there's just too many options here for you to just choose what you do. To, like, then there's no randomness. If you always got to choose out of a long list of actions, then you'd always take the action that gets you what you want. But sometimes in life, things don't go the way you want. You know what I mean? So like here, you can't interrogate them for money. You just can't. You can't. It is fully dependent on the scenario. And then this could be like And then these are more dependent on should NPC speech check numbers or no? No, it's all dependent on, yeah, your speech is greater than this. Or that. If your stat is greater than number, get thing. I want to add this to a music playlist. How long has it been? Doing something. So money. Okay, what's dependent on scenarios? Not movement. Not stats. Money. Also, multiplier. Rare. I think these should be rare. Multiplying your money. Is interrogate also a multiplier? No. I think it could be modified by items, yeah. Like +1. Yeah. Shakedown does. That's chill as shit. Twilight Princess, damn dude. Chill as fuck. I think evade and escape are just kind of random. Random like 1 to 3 chance. Escape. Random 1 chance. Rare. Uncommon. Ooh, maybe there should be some like rarity symbols. Instant. Wanted and cards have rarity levels. How would that be? Rarity levels. Rep. That. I shouldn't be saving every 2 seconds because the dock is big. Big dock. This no, this no, this yes. This yes. Then items. Items. Shop. Buy. Sell. Or buys. Pack. Only. Items. Sells. Pop. Item. Right, like you could really really do that. So like civilian merchants can be picky about what they buy. Sell limited. Sell dollar amounts. I like that. Buys attack only item. Sells top 3. Sells sells 3 items. Top of. I think this should be like a. Who should, and then they should have a name, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like civilians should kind of have a job associated with them, kind of. But not like location specific. Like not like bartender. Civilian account. Good. Not names, but like ops. But not location specific. Just bar. So it could be like I was thinking like space whale fisherman. I think buy should be on. Something like a void fisherman. Like something interesting. He wants stuff that's that's attack only. He's like a hunter of some kind. Not a bounty hunter, but like a not an alien hunter. What's a word for like animal? Like a rare animal. Beast hunter. Varmint hunter? Varmint hunter? What's a varmint? A varmint. What's the definition of a varmint? 'Cause, like, I have a general idea. Troublesome wild animal. What's another word for hunter? Fisherman, hawker, huntress, pursuer. Varmint trapper. Varmint trapper, I like that. Varmint trapper. Varmint trapper. Varmint trapper. He traps varmint. And then the last thing. See, it doesn't have to be like too many. I think 3 is good. I think 3 is good for civilians. Because it's like item, money, intel. If you don't have this, you don't have this, then at least you can have this. You know what I mean? It's like very specific. I like that. Scenario may be too specific. May seem too specific for your character cannot interact in any way, but really that's just the kind of character you met along your path. Like, it's really like it's not up to you. Like, some of these maybe should be easier, some of these should be harder. You know? Some scenario may have too high stats, but that's your fault for being unprepared. Like, really, I mean, that's it. Like, you could sell him something with attack only if you got it. If you don't, you could sell. You could buy something. If you don't have enough money, then shit, you're out of luck. Like, and that's it. Not up to you. Got some World of Warcraft music. I like that example. Civ encounters. I like having 3. Meaning like usable scenario. Yeah. Which is like a shop. Usable. Hitting. Character. Shop, or like a low stat gain. A uncommon way to get something, and then a hard way. Too topless. Uncommon scenario. Good gain. Rare. Not uncommon, but like tough scenario. Something like that, you know? Not uncommon. Uncommon. Loud. See, and then this could be like, got these good drops. Got these rockers. Add on Gajinki. Jakino. Got these gronkers out on Jakino. That's dumb. Got some hunting tool. Or is it like you got any hunting tools? Help me catch gronkers. This is like a what you? I know, see, like, stealing is, like, silent. That's why I feel like there should be, like, stealing is silent, that's the thing. Hope these diamonds. Oh, this could be like a thought. I don't know if I want thoughts in it though. Ask me. Interrogate. Okay, and now we take this. And now we try to fit this into here. Here. Let's see how that goes. Let's go back to the
Ruin it that much. Did you watch Firefly?
No, but I know what it is.
Yeah, if you know the pain of those people not getting another season of that show, this is like that on a fucking crack.
I want to watch
different.
Firefly.
That's getting canceled and then getting like.
But they felt a
straight to
pain.
DVD
Yes,
movie.
but Game of Thrones got
like,
canceled in our
the
hearts.
writers went ahead of where the books went because George R.R. Martin doesn't write very fast.
They didn't just get ahead, okay? Have you seen The Wire?
I bought the series but haven't started it yet.
Have you
and
seen
I
The
know it's supposed to be
Sopranos?
fantastic. I've seen a bit of The Sopranos but haven't. Yeah.
Fuck. Wait, have
I know. I've seen a lot more movies than I have TV
Sure.
right now, but
okay. What are some of your favorite movies?
of all time?
Yeah, a few.
Um,
No Japanese film allowed. Go.
okay. The Holy Mountain's my favorite movie. Synecdoche, New York is my second favorite movie. The Lion King is my third favorite movie. Furry trash, whatever.
Okay.
Eternal Sunshine, up there.
Okay. Imagine if at the end of The Lion King, okay, I've seen The Lion King and The Eternal Sunshine. I haven't seen them 1 and 2. Imagine if at the end of The Lion
Okay.
King, okay, imagine if Simba, through defeating Scar, was able to open a rift in time and bring his father Mufasa back to life. Okay.
Oh no!
Imagine
yeah, I
how
kinda
disappointed
heard
they-
about that
Okay,
shit. Yeah.
but no. This, if that were to be the ending of that movie, you're starting to get on the level where you can look up the mountain and see at the peak the disappointment that Game of Thrones fans like. You're not even close to it, but you can see this is the level of disappointment I'm talking is unfathomable. It is a pain that most people could never dream of experiencing. But you'll never see it all. But like, just trust me, okay?
Yeah.
That's when I say it's bad, okay?
Oh, I trust you. My other two podcast co-hosts on Sardonicast had a discussion about it, and I was there and didn't say anything because I didn't watch the show. But I remember bits and pieces about what they said, and it did seem very disappointing. So you stuck with the whole thing though, and like, what would you say was the moment where you stopped enjoying it? So it's like mostly to do with how it ended, right?
Kind of,
That's
yeah.
Still
so
the impression I'm getting.
the long and short of it is that basically, so I don't like. Well, I shouldn't say this. I'm not a big fan usually of like knights and princesses and medieval stuff. It's just not stuff that I'm normally into.
Me neither. I like
And-
Lord of the Rings though.
Yeah, same actually. And I really, really, really don't like when people are edgy for the sake of being edgy. So whenever I heard like Game of Thrones described, people was like, Game of Thrones is so good because they always kill all your favorite characters. And it's like, okay, this sounds like,
That
wow.
was the thing I heard also.
Exactly, and it sounds like so like edgy and pretentious. And I was like, I don't care, blah blah. And then there was some girl I met off Tinder, and she insisted, she's like, oh, like you should come over, we should watch, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll get later, and we'll watch fucking Game of Thrones, whatever. And I watched the first season. It was
HBO
like,
and chill.
yes, I watched the first season, and this was, aside from The Wire, this is my favorite season of anything I ever watched in my entire life. I thought it
Okay.
was so cool. The whole meme about like, oh, characters dying or whatever. The cool thing about Game of Thrones is that everything is super ultra gray. Like there were no good characters and there were no bad characters, and there were consequences for every single action, even if you thought you were doing the right thing. So like a lot of people that ended up dying kind of died because of stuff they did earlier, but they didn't even do necessarily bad things. It was just like, because you did this, it set this into motion, and I really liked that. That the idea of like having like a world of consequence, that was so cool to me.
Yeah.
And then by season 5, it turned into Lord of the Rings, where you had like, this is the archetypal good guy, these are the archetypical bad guys, and that's it. And it's like, oh, and that's not bad, but that wasn't what Game of Thrones was about. And like around like season 4 and 5, when that turn happened, that's when I started to hate it, because then you all of a sudden, like, whereas before you had like really good characters that made really good and noble decisions, and they died because they were naive. And I was like, dude, that's not supposed to happen in like fantasy medieval stuff. But then by the time season 5 rolls around, those really good characters are making the same choices, but now they're saved by plot armor every single time. And it's like, okay. So that's basically why like I think Game of Thrones like changed so much and I stopped liking it. But a lot of people loved it because they liked the dragons and the explosions, and for all the reasons why I didn't watch it originally, because I thought that's what it had, that's what it became later on. And that's why I fucking hated what it turned into. Yeah.
So you have seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I have.
But not-
That's a really sad.
Oh, what do you think about it?
That's a really sad movie. I think this is a Jim Carrey one, right? Wait, I'm not mixing this up with the.
It is Jim Carrey.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching it a long time ago, and I remember thinking it was a very, very sad movie.
And so the same screenwriter of that film, his directorial debut is Synecdoche, New York, which is my second favorite movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he also made his most recent film, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is on Netflix. And also he made the stop motion Anomalisa. So those are his 3 directorial movies. And he also wrote Being John Malkovich. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I haven't.
And
but I know I should.
Adaptation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so you've only seen Eternal Sunshine.
Yep.
All right.
Correct.
I would highly, highly recommend to you Synecdoche, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I will preface this by saying it's a movie that you haven't seen unless you've seen it twice, sort of thing.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, you seem, from what I gather, like pretty into certain like psychology sort of.
Yeah, it really just depends.
Archetype sort
There's
of
like a
things,
lot of
like,
different. Like my
There's
two
a
favorite.
lot of like incredibly philosophical shit going on in that movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's there's a lot to unpack in it. But it's one of very few movies that kind of one of very few movies that insists on being interpreted but can live up to why that is the case. There's a
Gotcha.
lot of movies that insist on being explored but are not as deep as they think they are. Synecdoche, New York is like the most meta film ever made in existence, possibly, with some, I don't know, there might be others, but
Okay.
it's just like
Interesting.
it's a journey. And same with my favorite movie, The Holy Mountain, but for very different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Synecdoche, New York is like a intellectual journey, whereas The Holy Mountain is like a spiritual journey.
Interesting.
And those are my two favorite movies.
Okay. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll think, or not. I think about it. I'll
Please,
watch it.
please do, because I would like to hear your opinions on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to my watch list.
Oh.
Me and Melina, Melina makes me watch movies, and I watch movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my.
Yeah, it's not.
not
These movies are not for everybody. I wouldn't advertise them to somebody wanting a
fun recreational movie to watch.
traditional plot structure. They're both very entertaining. Neither of them are boring, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing to the degree of that Jean Dielman 3.5 hour cleaning her house movie. They're not like that.
Gotcha.
So don't get that impression. But they're very non-literal. They're very symbolic and metaphorical. Almost like you've probably seen something like, I don't know, Mulholland Drive or something, right?
I think so. A long time ago. This is an older movie, right?
It's like kind of, yeah. That was like 98 around.
I think
there.
I watched this in high school, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, it
so.
is a watch in high school movie, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like kind of in that same vein where it's like there is a plot, but at the same time there are things about this plot that will undeniably not make sense, but they're supposed to not make sense because there's more things happening than just the plot that you're supposed to be thinking about, sort of.
Gotcha. Did you ever watch, or like I think it's called Primer?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's same. I was talking about the guy who let the documentary use his soundtrack. Same director of Upstream Color. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now he's canceled. Actually.
Oh shit! What did he do?
He
that was a really dark joke.
he went on this like really unhinged Twitter thing where basically I guess he was dating the actress from Upstream Color, and then he just had a mental breakdown after his newest film project couldn't get funded because he's like a super indie boy and doesn't want to work in the system.
Okay.
And I guess just gave up, and then just like casually took a photo of his restraining order placed on him from the lead actress of his previous film. And then people were like, what the fuck is this about? And then he made all these, like, he literally, like, he leaked the script and all of the soundtrack that he was working on of his newest project. Like, it's never going to happen. Here it is, everybody. And just, like, had this weird mental breakdown. And I love his movies. And, yeah, I've seen Primer, to answer your question.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, what do you think of it?
Of the story you told me, or of Primer?
Primer, yeah.
Oh, Primer. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I don't have any complaints. I don't think. The concept and everything's cool. I really admire projects like that. I think are really cool.
I'm just trying to think, because I like these being before. Got any hunting tools to help you catch some gronkers? And you can shop. Hope these diamonds last me for the week, and then you steal it, which is kind of like a moral thing, a moral dilemma. Hope these diamonds last me for a week. Last me for a week. But then before interrogate, what should it be? This he's talking directly to you, because you approached him about shopping. This one he's talking to himself, and he doesn't know you did anything. Because that's basically sneak. Defense is like all. Probably shouldn't be called defense. It should be called. Defense is all of protection, sneak, agility, stuff like that, like avoiding. Aversion, evading, escaping, dodging. Birding, avoiding, deterring. Reflecting. It's like all of that. It's called defense. Protection. Agility. I'm fucking tired of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the two films he's made, Primer was like $7,000, and then Upstream Color was like, I don't know, $20,000-$30,000, filmed like on a Panasonic GH5 or some shit.
Yeah.
Just like really super. The man knows how to make a lot with a little, and he stars in his movies, directs them, does the soundtrack. Like, the guy's clearly incredibly talented, and I hope he still makes movies, even if, I don't know, he
He's canceled.
he
Yeah.
might be a shitbag or something.
That's what I kind of
But
felt. Fuck. My movie tastes are so much more accessible. So I'm sorry if these are offensive to you, but something
I don't mind at all. I like
Gotcha.
talking about them.
a movie that was so surprising to me. I couldn't believe it when I watched this movie. This is like fucking 15 years ago or some shit. Fucking Apocalyptico. I couldn't believe when I watched. I was like, "This is Mel Gibson."
Apocalypto?
Oh, Apocalypto, not Apocalypto. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apocalypto. I was like, "Oh my god!" It's kind of sad that we
Yeah, it's really
missed,
weird.
like 20 years of like Gibson films because of his crazy anti-Semitic racist shit.
Yeah, I never
should
even
watch
like
that.
really looked up the full extent of everything that has earned him that label.
Man, it's one
I
of those.
I need to figure this. Interrogate. What is? There's extorting where you're pointing the gun at him. What is the definition of interrogation? Ask questions. Ooh, I like transmitting a signal. I like that. Signaling. Signaling. Resets. And bounty. Target. And it's in one of them. Warning. Warning. Other. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. That could I wonder if that would be a civilian action. I don't think a civilian would signal. We could have freak out though, which is planet. Civilian. Freak out. Planet. And in warning. Target. Warning. Signaling other planet. I like that. Because basically civilian freakout would do the same thing as target encounter. Yeah. Target encounter, after the turn ends, that's what you do. Civilian freakout, immediate planet. Target warning, you could do your target encounter, but then maybe roll that he warns other bounties. I think that's a really good idea. I really like that idea. Really like that idea. Okay, I'm still thinking about this though. Interrogate. Interrogating is asking questions forcefully or not forcefully. In this case, is forceful. Because if it wasn't, then it would be persuading. That's kind of the logic I'm going with here. If it was just speech, it'd be persuading. If it's with an attack, even if it's a small attack, it's interrogating. But it's not extortion. Not fully pointing a gun at someone's head. It's showing that you have a gun. So you go up to a dude, you go up to a varmint hunter, varmint trapper, you show that you got a big gun, and you ask some questions. And what's and then maybe he could be like, who are we looking for, partner? He's not terrified. It's more like well, it could be more scared, like well, I did. Is that right too already? I did see someone near the Giacchino pit. Yeah. I like that a lot. Like that a lot. Hear the juke. I could have sworn I saw somebody near them Giacchino pits. Yeah. Yes. Hey.
Those
Just
things
known that it
where
has been a
Oh,
label, but I
loud.
didn't look into
My
it.
ears.
yeah, it's one of those things where you hear it and you're
Sorry
like,
about that.
man, I don't think it was that bad. And then you go and you listen to the phone call and you're like, ah, yeah, it was that bad. Like,
Oh, there's
okay.
a phone call?
Oh yeah, there's a phone call. It's pretty bad.
Give me the deets.
Well, like he's
Give
just
me
like,
the TLDR.
I don't know. Doesn't he basically tell like his ex something like, oh, I don't want you dating any N-word, blah blah blah. Like, don't suck any N-word dick or whatever. It's like it's a really bad phone call. It's like, yeah, okay,
Oh, that's
fuck.
great.
Like, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like, okay, yeah, I understand, but yeah.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you ever see that? You might not know of this director or have seen any of his films, but you might know of this incident at Cannes Film Festival, where a Danish art house director known as Lars von Trier, I guess, admitted to being a Nazi in a press conference, but like no one's really sure what he meant because he's just such a weird guy, and like a lot of people were like he was just joking, and he probably was, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was like. It's really watching it. It's so difficult to understand what he was even going for. But it goes on for like 2 minutes, and the best part about it is like his cast members are around him, including what's her name? I'm blanking on her name. Mary Jane from the Spider-Man movies. Kirsten Dunst.
Okay.
It was in his movie, and this entire time you can see her slowly dying inside as he's like, "No, I found out I was really a Nazi, and I saw, I thought of Hitler, and he was, in this bunker, and I thought I really understand the man." She's like, "Please stop!" She's like grabbing his arm, and you can see her like recoiling in cringe and terror. Like, this is at a press conference at Cannes Film Festival. He's like, "There will come a point at the end of this. I promise there will come a point," and then till he finally just says, "Okay, I'm a Nazi," and then he gets banned from Cannes Film Festival for like 3 years. And then
What?
his next film gets back into it, so they released the ban just because he's a fucking weirdo anyway. Like,
Sure. Interesting.
no one's really sure what he's ever trying to say. I
Mhm.
don't think he even knows what he's trying to say, but it was really funny. Yeah, Nymphomaniac is what he made. Nymphomaniac, Dancer in the Dark, Antichrist, Dogville, Melancholia. His
Oh.
films are really hit or miss, but
Mhm.
no.
Damn.
Definitely watch that press conference. It's like 2 minutes long. It's really funny.
Okay.
just for Kirsten Dunst slowly dying inside.
Let's see. Did you see? Man, 2019 was just a sad year for movies. No, not 2019. I'm sorry.
What?
2020. I'm sorry. 2020.
No,
such a
it
sad
was
movie- years.
2020 wasn't even a sad year for movies either. But also I did like 3 film festivals that were online.
Oh well, aren't you? Cool?
It was
Okay,
a
well,
sad year for big box office movies. It was a sad year for Disney movies, maybe. But it wasn't a sad year for movies. There was a lot of good shit that came out.
Oh well. Do you have like a survival guide to 2020 for those of us that felt super fucked?
Yeah, sure. So there was a really great documentary. Actually, your chat would love it. It's about Pepe the Frog. It's
Oh.
called Feels Good Man.
I watched
Did
your.
you watch that?
No, I watched your video on it. But it
Okay,
sounds
sure.
really good.
it's
Your
awesome.
your review made me want to watch it a lot. So
I actually want to
Probably
watch that
look
too.
on digital right now. There's
Yeah.
a Blu-ray and shit.
okay, gotcha.
So yeah, Feels Good Man. That's a great, awesome documentary. There's
I like this. I like the way this turned out. We're gonna have to check fonts and stuff. This doesn't have to be as long. The quotes. But I like this. Who's looking doesn't need this. Yeah, I mean, you need some. It could be like that. It could be like that. Like a middle four. Could be like that. I like that a lot more. Apartment. There should be something here. I don't know. Color. Um, how many hours has it been? Should I do? I'm gonna try to do the target card and then call it a day. I'll try. Let's do that.
Let's see. I'm going through some stuff trying to figure out like what's currently out right now. There's a film called I think Black Bear that was pretty good. That's coming out. Yeah, that's coming out in. It's either out now or it's coming out in December 4th digitally. It's got Aubrey Plaza and Christopher Abbott,
Okay.
and it was pretty good. Interesting kind of indie thing. Oh man, there's a crazy movie called Caught in the Net, and it is from which country is it? Czech Republic, I think. And it's like To Catch a Predator on steroids, and it's like the most disturbing. Oh my god! It's basically they took like three different. They did a casting call for three different female actors who looked
Some
of
of
younger
that, right?
age, got them to pretend they're 12, and basically set up this like this studio streamer house thing where they were baiting all these pedophiles in the Czech Republic, and I like what happens in it.
Something like that where it doesn't say the word attack, but it like A only items. You know? Like I'm just thinking of how to shorten all this. And like if you're greater than and then this too. Yeah, something like that.
Dramatically and how much of it you see. Like
Uh-huh.
they blur out everybody's faces for legal reasons, I guess. But it's real. It's not only like really explicit, but it's like incredibly like viscerally disturbing and just so fucked up. Like huge emotional impact. It's called Caught in the Net. Um, yeah, that was definitely one of the most like engaged I've been in a film all year, even if the emotion wasn't pleasant.
Sure.
But I guess that's what it's going for.
Yeah.
There's an Iranian film called There Is No Evil, which was really great. It's like 4 different stories that are all based on like government mandated killing, like executions, just like their impact on people's lives.
Did you ever watch a movie called? Sorry, just because you bring that up. Have you seen a movie called The
Oh, I don't mind.
Platform?
The what? Sorry?
The Platform? The one
Oh,
where
I
there's
hated
like
that movie.
you hated
the
it?
Spanish movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit.
Why did you think it was bullshit?
I mean,
Why
I
did you
didn't
hate
think it was like the worst thing ever made. It was just one of those like, man, there are so many great foreign films out every year, and this is the one that gets popular.
Yeah.
Like this is the one that everybody's talking about. It felt like a worse version of the Cube. It felt like just shit didn't make sense. It wasn't very well acted. It was just like it was so preachy too in like the what it was trying to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
It was really weird how like heavy-handed they were being, and it was just like it's just kind of boring and schlocky. I really did not like the platform.
Huh, okay, gotcha. I didn't feel very strong about it. I was just
Yeah.
curious, but I know that that was like one foreign film that got like really popular.
I know, right?
What do you think about? Have you ever seen the movie Pan's Labyrinth? What do you think about that movie?
I love that movie.
Oh,
That's
okay.
probably my favorite. Actually, definitely my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie.
Oh, okay, cool. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's awesome. It might be my number one of what was it? 2005?
I don't
2006?
remember. They
guess
I
I'll
think my
do
I
my
think two of my
2006
favorite
list
movies
as
of all
well.
time are Pan's Labyrinth, and then have you ever seen a French movie called I think it's called Amelie from something?
Yes, that's my roommate's either favorite movie or one of his favorite movies, and I watched it once a long time ago, and I remember really liking it. Despite watching it at a younger age, there are aspects to its visual presentation and editing that stick
Yeah,
out
it's
in my
really
mind, which is
cool.
a really good indicator that I'll enjoy it again as an adult because I'm remembering like how it was shown, not just like what happened. Like I
Mhm.
remember the entire the pacing of the intro scene, and I only saw this once like when I was a lot younger. But I remember this whole like close camera angles, almost like if I remember correctly, like almost kind of like a fisheye lens, but not really, but like really kind of quick pacing intro, giving you the exposition of like the character sort of thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of it was yeah. I have a big appreciation. I think because well, probably because I watch so much American film, I guess. I have a,
Deception. Hmm. Sway. I think convince is the word. Persuade is positive, decept is negative, convince is neutral. I think that's what I'm looking for. Because persuade was too. Persuade was too positive of a word.
really big appreciation for stuff that's edited in like clever or different ways, I guess. So like obviously very accessible, very entry level. I really like every fucking Edgar Wright film. Like
Yeah,
anything he
he's really
makes,
great.
I'll probably watch it and love it. Like I just yeah yeah anything and the Amelie had like a lot of like really cool editing tricks and stuff like that. That was like a little bit non-conventional. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that again for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would definitely enjoy it. And yeah, so all the like pretty much all the shit that I just listed of stuff that I enjoyed from this year was just from one of the 3 film festivals that I did online.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I find I
Should the target encounter. What kind of title should it have? Because it's already going to be a named person. It's already got a named I'm not sure.
find that film festival stuff is where I find most of the movies that I really enjoy in a year. But you still have to know what you're looking for if you attend a film festival or, you know, the online stuff this year or anything.
For sure.
You still have to like have a good idea of like why you're watching something. Otherwise, if you just pick random shit, you're gonna have a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have to fill up their program somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man, Wolfwalkers was awesome. It's like kind of a kids movie. If you ever, it's from like this Irish animation studio that made Song of Kells and The Breadwinner and one other thing I guess you probably haven't heard of if you haven't
Probably
heard
not.
of these other two.
No.
Okay. Man, but yeah, I hope this one puts them on the map. They get Oscar nominated every single year but never win because Disney Pixar, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really hoping that this year that like Soul isn't amazing or something. The new Pixar.
Should the capture even have something attached to it? Because I feel like this is a little different. I feel like the target thing is a little different. Like capture, it could just be capture. It doesn't have to be more specific. But it could be. Capture. Capture. Gain. Diamond. Gain. Fade. I really think like the
Thing. I'm hoping that the Academy recognizes them because it would just be awesome. It really sucks
I
because
want to
they're
listen
like
to my
doing
music.
Apple TV Plus for Wolfwalkers, which I saw at the film festival, but it's being wide released on Apple TV Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, okay, this digital streaming platform that, as it started out, I was like, you'll never have any good content. I don't need to buy you. Is now getting some good shit. It's got that. It's got the new Werner Herzog documentary. I'm like, oh fuck, god damn.
Wait,
it.
which platform was this on? You said
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's either out
Fuck.
now or out very soon on Apple TV Plus.
What do you
But
think?
yeah, it's like
Well, I
so
guess it's pretty
frustrating. These
basic,
different
like-
streaming platforms, just like we're going back to cable. Basically, you're gonna be spending
Capture.
much.
Capture.
Yeah.
Capture. See here. Roll. Current target. but still fail. Kill you something. I think that's good. Capture. If our attack is greater. See, this is where it comes in. I totally forgot about this aspect. Your attack, or if your defense greater, target. Kill. We still have to roll on it. I like the word claim. Claim is a good word. Claim. Select is a good word too. Claim. Claim. Collect should be. Collect should be for intel. Claim. Down. Select. Money. Request. Request.
I was gonna ask, what do
You
you
have to get everything.
do? You have any strong thoughts on the people like charging money to see individual films now on these platforms? I think Disney Plus started this with.
Oh, like what?
Was it Mulan? Did they do this? Where people, I think,
That was a experiment. I don't know if they'll ever do that again, because I'm pretty sure Mulan underperformed from what I heard.
did it?
Otherwise, I think if they did that and it was hugely successful, they'd be doing the same thing with Soul, but they're not. Right now, the market, the lucrative part of having a streaming platform is just getting people to sign up for a monthly subscription and forget that they own a subscription to your thing, basically. So that's all they're trying to do, and that's all they should be doing. I don't know if any other streaming platform has decided, hey, pay a subscription plus money for this new film. That was just a greedy Disney thing that it seems like they've already given up on.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, just paying for an individual film without the subscription is just akin to just, I don't know, iTunes or just any other digital release that's already existed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Or Amazon, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was reading chat,
No, you're good.
which I should never do. I see my roommate in chat. I didn't even tell you I was streaming with Destiny. How'd you get here?
Is your roommate somebody? Should I know who this is? Is this like somebody who appears in videos? Could be a
You
letter?
shouldn't know who he is, but if people want to follow Sikkab, Sikkab, he is a Twitch streamer, just
Okay.
not a big one or anything. He's trying to grow his shit.
Gotcha.
I've technically got a streamer house because both of my roommates stream on Twitch, but it's not really a streamer house.
Sure, close
It's
enough.
not like notable streamers or anything. And we lived together before we all started streaming on Twitch, so it just happened to work out that way.
Nice. Do you stream on Twitch like regularly or?
Yeah, I stream every Sunday consistently. Under Adam Plays, ADUMPLAZE, which is my gaming channel name. Every Sunday we do video games, and then random points in between, depending on what part of the process I'm on with my film review shit, I'll be streaming like my editing stream. So I stream editing my podcast, I stream editing my larger YMS reviews, or like going over different edits that other editors have made from my gaming channel videos if I'm making a couple changes to those. So but yeah, there's other days like where I'll be spending the entire day doing just voiceover narration for reviews, which I don't stream. Yeah.
Interesting.
My other roommate is Vexel_TV. If anybody wants to follow them in
all
chat.
the plugs in here.
Yeah. Taking advantage of it. That's the
Wow.
only reason I wanted to talk to you.
It's to plug your roommates.
I was just biding my time. Yeah,
Twitters.
plugging my
Or-
roommates.
on Twitches. Nice job.
Yeah, it is on Twitch, yeah.
What's this guy's name? Your movie sucks. You guys know this guy. Don't be dumb. Spoilers.
Your movie sucks on YouTube.
Oh, here's like a random thing. I don't know if you even have a strong.
Sure.
Okay, because I liked horror films. I really like. I watched like not every old, but a lot of the old horror films and shit. One of the worst movies I saw of all time. Actually, I wanted to watch through this whole thing and do very rare, like just go through all the reasons why I hate this movie. Is a movie in, I think it was 2018, 2016. I think it was 2018. Fucking the Halloween movie. I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, was it the one where they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes.
Yeah.
There
I
was
thought it
just like
stupid, and I
so
forgot
much,
most of it.
yeah, questionable, stupid shit in that movie. It drove me crazy. I hated it.
I don't
so
even
much.
like. I watched the original Halloween a long time ago, and I'm like not even. I don't know. I was younger, but it didn't stick with me in the same way that other popular slasher horror franchises from the time did. Like I still love like Nightmare on Elm Street stuff.
Yeah.
And I still, even though the Friday the 13th movies were incredibly stupid, they're still a bit nostalgic for me. Halloween, it's just like I didn't retain much of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if this is true or not, but I super wonder. I wonder if Halloween would have been as popular if Friday the 13th didn't exist. 'Cause I feel like for a large part of my childhood, I just mixed these two people up a lot. Like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees were just like the same person in my adolescent mind.
Well, because for like, I don't know, Halloween came before Friday the 13th. And then for a while, like, I thought that, you're always supposed to have this thing in mind of like which film solidified and paved the way and did it first, sort of thing. And I thought for a while that Halloween was like, some sort of landmark thing for the slasher genre, and maybe in ways it was. But then I'm finding out like, oh, Black Christmas was way before that. So like, I don't know, what is the first slasher movie? What is, I guess like there's certain parts of the formula that maybe it brought to the forefront in some ways. I don't know. I just found it like, maybe I just had to be alive at the time. Maybe I just had to be a teenager in the 70s or something to really appreciate Halloween, but I just never really got into that particular horror franchise, despite me liking a lot of horror films.
Okay, this is the final movie take, okay, before I
Sure.
go to sleep. I really didn't like the original Blade Runner. I really like Blade Runner 2049.
I feel the same way, using a
Mm,
bit less.
I don't disagree with that. I like the aesthetic of the original Blade Runner. I don't think I care for the story. I don't think I care for the story. It's other than the one like the speech with the android, the actor who died recently. Like tears. The rain is like tears or some shit. Other than that, like moment, there's nothing I can really point to that I care about. But 20, whatever the fuck it's called, the new one is good. That's a solid movie that I need to rewatch. That's a solid fucking movie.
Strong feelings about it. So
Okay.
I don't like the original Blade Runner as a entertainment watch it movie. I appreciate it more than I enjoy watching it. If I'm going to put on a movie and I'm going to watch it for my own enjoyment or even with some friends over, I am not going to put on the original Blade Runner. However, I could put on the Blade Runner 2049 movie because I enjoy that one a lot more.
Sure.
The original Blade Runner, the reason why, again, we were just talking about like what paved the way for other films. Like the imprints of the original Blade Runner, the fingerprints, let's say, are found on so many other films that came after.
I don't know
in
if
the
I'm gonna
next
do any more
20,
with this.
30 years.
I'm having a
It
hard
inspired a
time
lot, not only in terms
fitting
of like,
everything in
tone,
here.
but in terms of like visual aesthetics.
Think this.
It was really an influential film.
Yeah, for sure.
That without it, we would not have The Matrix, Dark City, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in that way, and also, I guess even technically, like the miniatures in the original Blade Runner, a lot of the effects were like really cool and impressive. It had a lot of cool ideas also.
Sure. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that as a film that I enjoy watching, Blade Runner 2049 is much better, and I love Denis Villeneuve. I think he's awesome. Yeah, so I agree with you there. Blade Runner 2049 is much more memorable. There's just much more going for it in terms of like what I want out of a movie.
Yeah, I felt like
I might never watch the original Blade Runner again, even though I like it and appreciate it. I might
Actually
never
agree.
watch it again because, like, why would I if I don't
yeah.
really get like an enjoyable experience out of it?
Generally, when I watch sequels, usually for me, sequels that miss the mark are usually like somebody saw the original and they wanted to make a sequel and they had no idea why the original was good.
Yeah.
And I felt like with Blade Runner 2049, I felt like somebody watched the original and was like, oh my God, I totally see what they're trying to do. And then just fucking absolutely crushed it in 2021. Like, I felt like, or at least it feels to me like, I guess if we're looking like really deeply into it, it's like, oh, you know, like what makes something, you know, like special or not special, what's interesting, like a robot and a human, like a sufficiently advanced robot and a human. Like it's kind of like in a sci-fi way is what the first one. And I thought in 2049, like because I'm pretty sure if you're a normal human being, you feel really sad when like the fake robot lady gets crushed in like his little disc thing. And like this is like a robot companion that's supposed to be a lesser life form who is a robot. And the fact that you even like have an emotional connection to that character is like, oh, like it feels like the movie like super achieved, like at least insofar as that goes and what it set out to achieve. And yeah, I don't know, I really like the performance in the movie. I really like that movie. I thought it was a really cool movie. I liked all the ideas and everything. Yeah.
Let me check one thing.
Denis Villeneuve has always been very, very respectful about the subject matters that he tackles. He has directed movies on real life events that are incredibly respectful. One about
Sicario.
the Polytechnique school shooting in Montreal. One that is loosely based off of like a crisis in a war in Lebanon called Incendie, which is a really great movie.
Fucking fantastic
He's
movie.
French.
Fucking fantastic. Incendie is a fucking fantastic movie. If I remember it correct, jeez, man. I watched that like a couple years ago in university because I had a Denis Villeneuve class. Fuck, Incendie is a tough movie.
Canadian, by the way.
Tough movie.
Some of his movies are French.
But
yeah, like that. I think that's part of why Blade Runner 2049 turned out so great.
Because he directed
because
it.
he actually cares about approaching not just the subjects, but like the subject matter, like the what he's taking from. He is very respectful about what it is and translates that in a great way, which is why I don't give a shit about Dune. I've never read the book. I've never seen the
Mm.
David Lynch version, but I'm hyped for Dune.
What I
And
mentioned
I'm
earlier,
assuming,
exactly.
hopefully, I don't know, that the fans would be happy with it too. Because if he's
Yes.
tackling this project, if he's saying that he likes Dune and he wants to bring it to other people in his vision, I trust him with that. And he's also still got Roger Deakins on cinematography too. So I mean, yeah,
Cool.
I'm really happy with Denis Villeneuve. Have you seen any of his other movies? Prisoners, Enemy.
So
I
good.
don't think I haven't seen any of those.
Oh,
Arrival?
Prisoners is so fucking good. Arrival's
Oh, I did watch
fantastic.
Arrival. An interesting movie. I like it.
Yeah.
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 Despite
Enemies is
Arrival.
my least
Arrival's
favorite
really good.
of his works.
Not in his top 3 or anything for me, but
Gotcha. Story-wise, it is very, very, very hard for me to care about things generally that involve time travel. Usually, whenever any concept
Also
gets brought
agreed.
up, I usually immediately hate it. There's
but
only
you like Primer.
Primer was an okay movie, yeah. Yeah, I like
Okay.
Primer. I thought it was cool.
But like generally, you hate time travel.
In terms of like, yes, almost all.
Primer did time travel right, and it wasn't too convoluted, and it was tight. It's a very tight movie.
Because it feels much like
Okay.
it's like that Ultra Deus Ex Machina. Do you
Well-
do anime at all?
I love Death Note.
Okay. Have you ever seen
Um,
Steins Gate?
Ooh, spoilers.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Fuck. Okay, never mind. That's the only thing that has time travel that I think is like really respectable. Arrival did
really?
it decently well. I thought Arrival did it decently well.
Okay.
You should watch
Yeah,
Science Gate.
'cause my biggest issue with time travel is that I don't care what the rules are that the film sets up. I just want the
This is just a reference to some job titles, possibly. Like Trapper, though. Trapper's a good one. I mean,
film to follow the rules that it sets up.
Varmint
For
Trapper.
something like Looper, I'm like,
Mhm.
you explained what this is about, and you're not even following it right.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Generally, my issue
Doesn't
with
make
time
any
travel is
sense.
that usually when time travel is introduced, it's a way to escape consequence, and so everything feels really cheap.
Mhm.
Is usually the reason why I don't like it past that point.
Did you watch 12 Monkeys, the film?
No, I have not.
I need to watch that too.
Oh man, that's like
It's on my list.
I've got 2 movies that come to mind in terms of time travel movies that don't contradict the rules that they set up. One of them being Primer, and the other one being 12 Monkeys.
I need to watch
12
the-
Monkeys is much more accessible. It's not an indie film. It's not a,
Okay.
you know, it's a very mainstream accessible film, but it's really great in the sense that it's like, oh, it sets up rules and it doesn't break those rules with time travel. It's really nice.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, thank you for having me on. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for chatting. You can always stop by if you want. Otherwise, have fun.
Thank you so
Peace
much.
out. Yeah.
Peace out. Bye
See you
bye.
later, man.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell.
That was nice.
Videos show.
I like your movie sucks, and I like when Destiny talks. I don't like hearing him talk about politics, but I like when he thinks about things. He's very conscientious, I guess you could say, or thoughtful. The man thinks his thoughts thoroughly. Nice. And I can appreciate a good movie conversation, so that was nice. I think that's gonna be enough for me today. I think I got some good thinking done myself. These scenarios. I need to really think about the target scenario. Really need to think about that. It might be too much to have a random roll and you fail. But then again, it's like you're failing anyway. It's not giving you the chance to do what you fucking want. That's it. I don't know. Alright. That's enough from me. Yo. I'm a. Peace.